Cardiff. Goodness gracious me, Cardiff 30 points to 24, knocking off the Stormers at home. Just got up, had some breakfast and watched this game in the URC this morning. Where there's some key events and stats, you guys can let us know your thoughts. But essentially, Cardiff, their winning run goes on, and the Stormers' first loss in the URC in bloody ages. I can forget how many games it was, but it was a lot. If you guys want to watch the URC, by the way, in the US, Flow Rugby, link down in the description. Really good. So I watched it this morning. So happy days. But yeah, man, 30 points to 24. Bit of a tit for tat game. I don't think the Stormers will be too pleased with their conversion ratio. Their maul's pretty good. And Cardiff, man, Reece Priestland, class. Absolutely class. Just run the show for this game. Good vocal crowd. Apparently it had been piddling down before the start of the game, and we did see some rain towards the end, but the start of the game was, seemingly pretty dry, and the crowd was pretty vocal. Ominous, though, from the Stormers from the start. I mean, they had all the ball. They got the first line break of the game, and the Stormers were just generally looking like a champion outfit. Got worse for Cardiff when Halaholo kind of got rolled as a clean out, and just did his leg. When those guys have got their studs planted into the ground, someone rolls them out of it and the leg can't move. It's planted. It's horrendous, and that's Halaholo out for a wee while, I would imagine. But I mean, Cardiff did get the first points of the game. Penalty on 9 minutes, 3-zip. Few Stormers had conceded a couple of penalties, and then 6-zip. I think it was a scrum penalty on quarter of an hour. Not a bad start. Priestland's boot getting the scoreboard ticking over. And then it gets better. Priestland's boot on 17 minutes for Cabango. God, he's quick, isn't he? But I mean, I don't think that was the plan. It looked pretty clearly like Priestland saw the space and was angling for a 50-22, but the ball just stayed in field and Cabango was on it like lightning. So credit to the young man for just chasing that kick. And missed conversion, but 11 points to 0. Like, not a bad start. Good way to get your crowd into it. However, it didn't take long for the Stormers to be, holy moly, we better get into this game. And, basically they get a penalty, one chance. They slot it into the corner. Relatively far out for a maul try, but it's a brutal maul. The Cardiff maul defence really struggled with this one. And Zaba goes over for the first one, and it's a good conversion from Libok as well. So 11 points to 7, and then boom, the Stormers are in front. Like moments later, like 5 minutes later, that one was just kind of loose ball. I think it was like knocked on in the tackle, and Libok with a little chip kick through it, a wicked bounce. Sees Zas goes over for a try. So suddenly, from 11-0 down, the Stormers are 14-11 in front. Back to looking like more of a champion outfit. That being said, Diamani gets yellow carded for a head-on-head. Cardiff opt for a 3 from that resulting penalty, so it is 14 points apiece. So kind of back to even Stevens. That maybe wrestles a little bit about that Stormers momentum back on the Cardiff side. And on 37 minutes, the Stormers, frustrating, on their own 5-metre line, Weber. And there's been a lot of the spotlight put on his line-out throwing recently after the Rugby Championship. Possibly the worst line-out thrower you will see in years. It's an absolute stinker. Like, there's very few times when I look at a rugby player on the field and go, I could have done better than that. And admittedly, with the pressure of the crowd and whatnot, you can have, lapses. But goodness gracious me, he throws it. It's a short throw. They try to throw it just the 5 meters. And he throws it like, not straight, but just straight at his own guy. It's just unbelievable. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know, is it like practicing penalties in soccer? Like, it's the kind of thing you don't really notice until the pressure's on that you just muck it up. Man, it was bad. Really, really bad. And it puts his team under pressure. Cardiff have got a 5-metre scrum right before half-time. Admittedly, the scrum is kind of scrappy, and when they get the ball out to Cardiff, they get pushed back another 10 metres. They end up with Priestland opting for a droppy, and he hits the post with it, but no points end up being conceded from it. But man, Dweber, that was bad. Like, it was bad. So I feel like that pressure is kind of snowballing on him, like one bad line out, you get a bit of the pressure on you, social media gets on your back, and it just seems to snowball. He needs to work on that. Anyway, I guess it's like goal kicking. You can work on it, although unlike goal kicking, it's kind of it's a team thing. But I mean, possession, Cardiff have edged it at half time, but the territory's edged with the Stormers. The Stormers have had way more run meters, 282 to 127, 4 clean breaks to 1, whereas Cardiff are kicking it doubly as much, 19 to 8, kicks from hand. Stormers are tackling the house down 95%, whereas like the Kavango try, there's no tackles missed. It's just a guy in the open. 75% for Cardiff is not that flash. So it's a good game though, half time. Really pleasing stuff. Cardiff start the second half pretty well. It's another Priestland kick. This time, by the way, I'm cooking breakfast at this time for the kids. I'm making pancakes. I got the game on my phone, so I may have missed some stuff. But Harry's from a cross kick from Priestland. And Priestland doesn't look like he cares. Like, I don't know why. He looks like me making my pancakes when you flip the pancake. It's alright. Doesn't care. Just sets up a try. Does not care. Everyone else goes to celebrate. Priestland's just like, man, whatever. So, yeah, bizarre. Really nonplussed. But Cardiff go back in front. But then the Stormers maul is still deadly. So, yeah, it's kind of... It's a real just tit for tat game. 43 minutes for the Harry's try. Zaba gets his second of 49 from that maul. A little bit concerning from the Stormers that most of their tries come from mauls. They're not really just a maul team. They've got electric backs, but yeah, despite all the clean breaks, they weren't able to set up those kind of magic moments that we're used to. On 60 minutes, Pokomela gets his one. To be fair, I mean, Cardiff had kicked a penalty before that, but the Stormers guys had been held up by Cardiff not long before. Like, Cardiff had done all right to hold out, but the pressure was just kind of mounting in that second half. Like, it looked like the Stormers were going to probably get in front and run away with the game, to be honest. But, I mean, they get the small try on 61 minutes. They missed the conversion, but it's a bonus point try for 4 tries, and it's 24 points apiece. But despite my misgivings about where Cardiff's momentum was at, they did actually manage to kind of step up and get in front as the rain starts coming down. Another penalty for Cardiff, so 27 points to 24. And then it's down to the Stormers, man. Can you chase down this Cardiff side in the wet? You got a 3-point deficit. Can you get it done? I mean, Cardiff have got a pretty poor clearance on 72 minutes. The Stormers have got a chance, but their maul does get stopped by Cardiff, and Cardiff managed to win a turnover. More Stormers pressure, but the Stormers knocked it on. So it's kind of one of those testing games where it kind of tests your character. Can you get it done, like Tamani with the big tackle? And then, yeah, man, it's Cardiff who showed the kind of confidence. They run it out of their own 22. Stormers in desperation end up conceding a penalty. The crowd is getting on the back of everybody. And then from that penalty, they kick the line out. Stormers concede another one. So Priestland ends up having a long shot at goal. There's only a minute left, so it doesn't really matter if he gets it as long as he kills a minute. But he ends up getting it anyway. And you do see a Reece Priestland smile right at the death. Not a big smile, but a decent smile. So he seemed pretty pleased with that. So 30 points to 24, man. Crazy. I would have liked to see a bit more of the second half. But as I said, it was my turn to cook breakfast for the children. And spent most of the time watching it on my phone as I cooked at the same time. But yeah, first loss for the Stormers in a long time in the URC, like I mentioned. And Cardiff, I had them high on my power rankings the other day, and I thought, nah, it's a bit high. But maybe not. Well done, Cardiff. For possession, Stormers edged that and the territory, but not by a lot. 52% possession, 53% territory. But the run meters, 387 to 220. So the Stormers edged that, man. But, I mean, you look at these attacking stats for the Stormers. 24 defenders beaten to 7. And 2 clean breaks for Cardiff, 4 by the Stormers. So there's no more in the second half. But the fact that 3 of those 4 tries are from mauls, and yet the Stormers have still got those attacking numbers, it's a little bit concerning. Key for the Cardiff guys, and where the game I think was won and lost, is the turnovers won 14 to 5. That's crazy. Cardiff's kicking game also 34 kicks to 20. Tackling counts are pretty similar, although the Stormers' percentage was a bit higher. Zaba had 16 tackles to go along with his 2 tries. Diamani, despite his yellow card, had 76 metres and 7 defenders beaten. He's a proper handful. Both of them 14 tackles, 3 turnovers, 1. Harry's had 57 metres in his try. Priestland a couple of try assists and 15 kicks from hand. pretty classy stuff from the Cardiff boys. The Stormers are back in South Africa, away to the Lions next, and Cardiff continue on at home. They face Edinburgh, which could be a pretty tasty game. You guys let us know your thoughts on the game, folks, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.